Joining us right now are two people who understand Quebec politics and how they overlap with Ottawa. Former Liberal cabinet minister in that province, David Heurtel, and Quebec's former top representative in the United States, Catherine Loubier. Catherine also worked in Prime Minister Stephen Harper's office at the time. Thank you both for joining us. David, we'll start with you. Now, all of this started when Premier François Legault made a statement to reporters yesterday where he didn't say that he wanted Yves-François Blanchet to vote against that vote non-confidence against Trudeau, but he did come close.
He did, and Mike, the play here, there's a lot of different levels of play. It's kind of three-dimensional chess here. On the provincial side, François Legault is trailing the Parti Québécois in the polls right now. He's at all-time lows since he first formed a government in Quebec back in 2018. He's in the low 20s. He's trailing the Parti Québécois. And what he's trying to do is kind of trap the Parti Québécois to say, well, here's your little home office in Ottawa. The Bloc Québécois is now supporting Justin Trudeau's Liberals, and so what he's trying to send those disaffected PQ voters that went to him in 2018 and 2022 in the provincial election, saying, come back to me, because the Parti Québécois isn't doing what it supposedly said it was going to do. So that's one thing. And on the other side, the Bloc Québécois, let's face it, the enemy of the Bloc Québécois in Quebec is not the Liberals, it's the Conservatives. Mm-hmm. And so even though the Conservatives right now in Quebec are trailing both the Bloc and the Liberals, they're still on the rise compared to Aaron O'Toole's numbers back in 2021. And that means that would hurt the Bloc. And the Bloc support is in the regions in Quebec, and it is seniors. So let's face it, the sovereignist vote in Quebec is with seniors, francophones in regions. So no big surprise that Gilles Duceppe and Yves-François Blanchet and everybody else is talking about, oh, we're going to raise pensions for seniors, because they want that win and say, see, the Bloc is relevant. So those are the two levels that are at play here. François Legault wants to bring back those disaffected PQ voters into the CAQ fold. And at the same time, the Bloc is aiming for actual official opposition status in the next election, because if they can sweep the Conservatives out and get most of the Quebec seats, they have a shot at it, seriously.
Yeah, and Catherine, this isn't really anything new when you consider this different level of dynamic, but it's a little different now in a sense, because Prime Minister Trudeau really does have to dance with the Bloc right now. So how much pressure do you think is on him, even though what Yves-François Blanchet was saying about those changes to the OAS, the old age security, would benefit all Canadians? I mean, is it a difficult dance for Prime Minister Trudeau here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not really difficult. He doesn't want an election right now. So, I mean, that's clearly his position at the moment. I agree with Mr. Heurtel saying that they're both catering to their same base of 65 plus for this election. But, you know, this is getting a bit old in the sense that the Bloc, you know, I know the Bloc is on an all-time power trip right now. To the point of being a little bit arrogant. They have a big influence in the timing of the next election. That is for sure. But you know, we've heard about the pension thing. We've heard about the immigration item, but there's no results yet. And the time passes by. And what the Bloc is doing really is keeping the Prime Minister, the worst Prime Minister right now, according to Canadians. The polls are saying it, in power. And so that really is the big power, play that they're having, not to allude to the name of the show, but that comes into mind. The signals are on red all over the place on Justin Trudeau, and this little game is going on. And I think, Quebecers will see through that. I think they will remember that. And I think the reason why Mr. Blanchet is working as hard as I've ever seen him work right now is because Pierre Poilievre is in Quebec. He's in Quebec media. He's putting pressure, and he's calling for an election. And to go back on Mr. Legault, I agree with Mr. Heurtel on his reading of the political play. There's another factor too. Is Mr. Legault is pragmatic. First and foremost, he has a plan on the economy. He has a plan on immigration, including new powers. he wants to, he's always in a hurry. He thinks he won't get anything out of Justin Trudeau anymore. He wants a new leader that will, allow him to advance his own particular agenda for Quebecers.
So I guess, Catherine, just to, not to push back on anything, but can you blame Mr. Blanchet for this sort of political power play right now? Because, strike while the iron's hot. You have that opportunity, so why not?
Yeah, no, but from a political standpoint, yes, he is in his all-time, power position. But what I'm saying is he does also supposed to be representing Quebecers, and Quebecers, as much as Canadians, want change. They want a new leader in Ottawa. They are fed up with cost of life. They are fed up with the immigration system. They are fed up with other things broken in the country. So how long will this dance last? How many motions will we see? And, what is the price to pay for Justin Trudeau dancing, as you said, with the Bloc leader for weeks and maybe months in the rest of Canada, too? Even though the measure,
David,
as you said, would apply, to all of Canada, it is catering to Mr. Blanchet.
Yeah, sorry about that, Catherine. David, I want you to pick up on that. How does Justin Trudeau play this now? Because some people across Canada might look at it and say, and the people in that sort of block of seniors may go, okay, great that I'm getting 10% more, because that's what Yves-François Blanchet is calling for. But will they see this as Prime Minister Justin Trudeau not being pragmatic, but rather sort of making this trade-off where he's dancing with a separatist leader?
Well, again, I think there's a trap there set by Yves-François Blanchet and the Bloc to Justin Trudeau. It's up for the Liberals to not step into it. Because, let's face it, you both need the NDP and the Bloc to vote with the Conservatives to defeat the Liberals. It's not just about the Bloc. And so the NDP sort of very discreetly, Jagmeet Singh was very happy to see François Blanchet come out first saying, no, we won't vote with the Conservatives, because he doesn't want an election either. And so Justin Trudeau's play here is not necessarily about playing Quebec's game and playing the Bloc's game. It's about getting the Liberal voters who stayed home in Toronto, St. Paul, who stayed home in La Salle-Verdun last Monday, that didn't vote. Because let's remember, while it is an embarrassing defeat, what happened in La Salle-Verdun was about Liberal voters staying home. I mean, the Bloc won this by-election with 28% of the vote and a 248 vote lead over the Liberal candidate. So this is not like the same devastating loss that it was in Toronto, St. Paul. All I'm saying here, Mike, is that if Justin Trudeau is able to stay in power, now I know that it's an if, but if he's able to stretch this out till September of 2025, and with the economy picking up,
that
the
long?
interest rates coming down.
Sorry to interrupt, but you're saying that long he's going to survive a budget?
I think so. I really do.
Well, the Bloc leader said it himself. The Bloc leader said he's going to be gone before Christmas.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, well,
David, if you can finish up your point in 15 seconds, and I'll give the rest to Catherine.
You need the Bloc and the NDP, but you need both. The Bloc doesn't hold this by itself. Yves-François Blanchet does not hold the keys to an election. He needs Jagmeet Singh to vote with the Conservatives and with the Bloc. So I think what I'm saying here, you could have a mini budget in December. And remember, we've had those before as well. And so, but the thing is, if he gets back to kitchen table issues, if he gets back to the center and the economy turns around, I'm just saying he can make a game of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I'm just saying that right now, if he gets back into common sense issues and doesn't play the game of either the NDP or the Bloc, and is able to define Pierre Poilievre as an extremist, there's a path.
Okay, I take your point. I'm going to give the last 30 seconds to Catherine, but also note that you said if he gets back to common sense issues, and that might be another party's campaign slogan right now. Catherine, you
I'm
get the last
talking
30
kitchen
seconds.
table issues. I'm talking. Oh, I'm sorry. Geez.
I know you are. I know you are, David. I know you are. It's just a funny slip there. It's a funny slip. Catherine, you get the last 30 seconds here.
That slogan is already taken. You're right, but it's not only about that. It's a lot more that's broken into the country, and even if the interest rate move and the mood becomes more positive, I think Canadians are fed up and really want to change. And the Bloc leader himself said it. He doesn't think this will hold until Christmas. And if he gets something on pensions, this will, I assume, will be a good news for the NDP as well. I mean, if it's not, then I don't understand, what it is that will have them, support a motion of non-confidence and finally turn the page on the Liberal government of this version and go into the polls, because that's what Canadians want.
Yeah, it's been such a week that Yves-François Blanchet even invoked Santa Claus on Parliament Hill. So I can only imagine what week 2 is going to look like. Okay, we're going to leave it right there. Catherine Loubier and David Heurtel, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate that.